here's some of the considerations I want you to think about. You got to think about being a newbie to Maschine, being someone that's kind of intermediate or may have older technology, such as the Maschine Studio or the MK2, MK1, then those that are more advanced who they've been with Maschine forever. Hi, I'm Dason Civil, and I'm a Christian-based hip-hop producer. I'm a songwriter as well as the owner of Civil Days Music. I've kind of been using the Native Instruments brand since 2013, and I started out with the MK1. I love the MK1, and at the time I was trying to make a change because I just started using Studio One and the M-Audio Keystation. But prior to that, I had like MPC, the MPC 2000, I had the MPC 4000. So that transition to computer-based music was kind of a hurdle to get over. I actually stopped making music for 2 years before I actually got into it. But then when the Maschine came out and I saw everybody with it, St. Joe as well as Knox Squared and so many other people, I was like, man, I want that, because then I'll be able to hit the buttons again. So 2013, I got it. I started making beats with it. I was with Machine Masters, started entering a lot of beat battles and things of that nature. And I love the transition because now I was able to push buttons once again. And then you had the software sense inside. It was a wonderful machine. So let's fast forward to 2016 when I decided to upgrade. So my wife purchased me, yes, my wife did. It was a present. She purchased me the Maschine Studio. And I love the Maschine Studio. So I had it since 2016. If you remember me, I'm the guy who did the EB.Boo video. EB.Boo, 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 EB.Boo. I got a hot beat, man. But at the same time, we pretty much after so many years of using the Maschine Studio and the Maschine software advancing, I felt the need to make a change or an upgrade. So what I did was I chipped in and I got the Maschine Plus. After getting the Maschine Plus, I took a while to learn it and use it, and here we are right now. I love the Maschine Plus. It's a great machine, but there are some pros and cons to it, especially for someone that's upgrading from a Maschine Studio to a Maschine Plus user. So here's my pros and cons. I think the feel of the knobs and the rotary encoders is great. They feel sturdy, don't feel like they're going to break off. The touch strip functions I really love. Now bear in mind, I'm not an MK3 user, so there's a huge learning curve, but we'll get to that in a minute. The Maschine workflow is still there, so if you like the Maschine workflow, it's great. I think the size of the unit is a nice size. When I looked at it in comparison to the Maschine Studio, I could actually see myself carrying the Maschine Plus around. Would I want to? No, I do not. But if I had to, I would, because it's much more smaller than the Maschine Studio. The other beauty of it is that you get to have the software sense. You get Maschine Factory, you get FM8, you get Massive, you get Prism, you get the Contact Factory, you get Retro Machines, and you get ROM and phases as the effects on it as well. And you get a number of different expansions, so I do love that as well. Now, you don't get everything, but in due time. I'm hearing some things, especially on some of the forums and things of that nature, of what we could receive in future updates. As well as some more pros is that it can double as a controller. So you can store things on your SD card, but at the same time, it can double as a storage device and a controller. So I think that's good because you can still work in your DAW. Well, it's not a DAW yet, but you can work in the Maschine software. And while working in the Maschine software, then you have the opportunity to still use Maschine Plus, either as a controller or as a storage unit. The ease in which you are able to transfer sounds. Some people like to take out their SD card. I actually have an SD card reader, but I'm not big on that. I like having my machine turn on, and while the machine is turned on, I can turn it into basically As one guy said, it just becomes a huge SD card reader. Bless beats. So that's some of the great things I like. It's good for generating ideas. If I quickly want to go to my Maschine Plus, I can generate my ideas on the Maschine Plus, and then once I get my ideas ready, I can take it to Maschine Studio to use some of the bigger expansions, as well as the bigger software synths on there, as well as the guitars and guitar rig and things of that nature. It has its own interface, so you can do more sampling on it. I can sample right into the unit. I can sample from my cell phone right into the unit. It's a great unit. Here are my cons. There's a steep learning curve, and that's because you have so many windows inside windows, or buttons inside buttons, or functions inside functions. Shift here to get that, shift here to get that. So for someone that had everything laid out on the Maschine Studio or the MK1 or the MK2, this is going to be somewhat of a learning curve. But I'm not saying that it's still not good. It's just it's going to take you a while to learn the machine to get to use it. And you don't have access to all the software synths or the instruments, so that's kind of a con as well. You kind of want all the instruments put into that one machine. If all you're going to use is the 64 gigabyte card that came with it, you're going to be in trouble. So you're going to have to upgrade to the 128 gigabyte card, especially if you want to have more freedom, more space, and you don't want to tax your CPU so much. It doesn't have a battery, so it's not portable. And I know it's a different machine. Those of us that had Maschine Studios and had, those of us that had the MPC 4000, 2000, the 5000, we know that there's still a level of portability with it, but they were big. Do I really want to carry this thing around? Do I really want to destroy it? You're definitely going to have to get a case for it if that is the case, and that is what you want to do. So in that, transporting it can be cumbersome, because now I have to buy an extra power cable. I have to buy something that's going to allow me to give power to this unit. Another thing to consider is the price comparison with other standalone units. You got the MPC-1, you got other new standalone pieces. Roland just released a standalone unit, and you got to worry about the functionality of one, and they're billing that as an all-in-one piece. Here's some of the considerations I want you to think about. You got to think about being a newbie to Maschine, being someone that's kind of intermediate or may have older technology, such as the Maschine Studio or the MK2, MK1, than those that are more advanced who they've been with Maschine forever. See, for the new or the beginner, someone that's new to Maschine, you have to worry about the learning curve. And I'm not saying that it can't be done, but you're really going to have to hug that manual. And the reason why I say that is, or watch some other videos. There's a lot of YouTube tutorials out there. There's a lot of people that teach it. So you really have to look at it that way. There's still options out there to help you to learn the device. Now, if you're one that's going from or transferring from an older unit to a newer unit, I'll call these our intermediates, then you're going to have to really look into the learning curve and the additional functions, how you move around. You don't have that jog wheel that you're going to be using anymore. So everything is going to be more like the MK3. So you have to really consider how you're going to navigate. It can be done, but you're going to have to hug the manual as well or watch some other videos. And lastly, those that already have the MK3, unless you want some portability, I don't see the purpose. Unless you want the portability. The ability to be able to work in a standalone unit, take that somewhere else, bring it back, get motivation. As long as you have that extra AC unit with you to give you the power, you can take it with you, or you can still take your laptop and you can hook it up without power, and it'll still act as a controller as well. So these are some of the things that I think we should consider when we think about getting the Maschine Plus. So my question to you is, are you getting the Maschine Plus? As well as, if you have the Maschine Plus, what are some of the best features that you feel about it? What are your pros and cons? Leave it down in the chat, all right? Everybody, this is Dayson Civil of Civil Days Music. I hope this is something that can help you make a better decision on if you're going to get the Maschine Plus or if you're not. Make sure you comment and subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody. Peace.